We got to do it. We have to do it. It's time for the Memphis postmortem.
Yeah.
You just did it?
Did we do it? We kind of did it, right?
Yeah, all right.
I just went final. I mean, I'm happy to do it again. All right, listen, I think from a schematic standpoint, I mean, it's what we talked about when we saw no Dante Harris. His point guard issues really doomed him in the second half. They just kept turning the ball over, right? And I think that ruined their rhythm. I think
Colorado State came alive too offensively.
They did. I mean, look, Nico made some adjustments where he was pressing the ball handlers much more than he did in the first half. They started making some shots. They got some confidence, and that's the anatomy of how you blow a lead, right? I mean, I don't know. It's disappointing because, and I'm getting tweets and stuff, and I expected that, but I also was not coming on here poking my chest out about Colorado State. Like, I knew Memphis was an underdog fairly.
Right,
I mean,
right.
Colorado State was 7th best team at Torvik since February 15th.
Drink Torvik.
And again, without Memphis doesn't win in Maui without Tyrese Hunter, right? They don't win those games. So it just really changed them.
How about Casey Evans, by the way? Holy
he hit everything.
Mackerel. What a game from that kid.
If you would have told people before the game started that Nick Clifford only had 14, you'd have said Memphis won, probably running away.
By 15.
Yeah. And he did other things as well. It wasn't just that. But, I just think Memphis ran into a hot team without their best ball handler, and, they couldn't overcome it. And Penny's going to have to answer for that. But
I mean, what does he have to answer for, though? Like, that's my thing. And I'm sure Goodman is chomping at the bit to get on.
Well, he's just going to have to. I just mean he's going to have to, answer for losing. I mean, I don't mean to answer like, he's got to face some kind of consequences. But
when you're going up against a team that won the Mountain West tournament title, that was second in the Mountain West regular season, and that has won, I think it's now 13 of their last 16, right? One of the hottest teams in college basketball with one of the hottest players in college basketball.
Yeah.
And you're going into that matchup in the NCAA tournament without the guy that makes what you want to do work.
Makes you tick.
Yeah. So the way that Memphis works, and if I'm saying anything wrong here, John, please.
Yeah.
But the reason Memphis works is that they'll guard, they'll defend, they're going to keep themselves in games, they're going to make sure it's a close game, and then they got 3 guys down the stretch that can go out and make a play when you need to make a play. It's a little similar to Memphis, to Michigan in the sense that they're going to keep it close, and then they trust that they have the guys that can win matchups at the end of the game to be able to win them the game, right?
Yes.
And when you lose Tyrese Hunter, who is probably – PJ Haggerty's their best scorer. I would argue Tyrese Hunter is their best shot maker.
Right.
Right? Like, isolation stuff.
And Tyrese Hunter is their like, he's the guy when the press gets put on, when you're up 5 with 2 minutes to play, he's the guy that you make sure the ball's in the hands of. Yep. So you can't replace that, man. It's a little bit like, I'll be honest, I know we talked about it yesterday, but it's a little bit like when Clemson lost Dylan Hunter. I mean, you just cannot – there's not another guy on the roster that's going to be able to come in and do the things he does. He's not the best scorer. He's not the best player, but he has, like, some intrinsic values that are not – you can't find them anywhere else. And, again, credit to Colorado State, man, because they were down 5 at the half. It looked bad for them. Memphis was rolling, and Nico Medved made some really good adjustments, and they really put it to Memphis.
Again, Casey Evans was on fire. I mean, he couldn't miss.
There's a reason why Nico Medved is getting linked with all of these jobs that are open. Like, obviously the Minnesota job is right there, and he can coach, man.
Yeah,
he can really, really coach. I want to ask you, John, just kind of like big picture, the way that you view and that the people in the city of Memphis view Penny Hardaway. Obviously, he is one of your own.
Yeah.
He is a product of the city of Memphis. He is a product of the University of Memphis, right? And he also was a guy that has, let's call a spade, not exactly been the home run hire that we thought he was going to be when he got the job. Now, there's a lot of mitigating circumstances for why that stuff happened, right? And we don't have to rehash it all, but, James Wiseman playing 3 games and then sitting out. A COVID year where you didn't have the opportunity to put together the resume you needed. You won the NIT title that year. The Amani Bates disaster that he was able to figure out.
Man, why are you bringing up old shit, man?
In some ways parallels. Well, no, what I'm saying is that Penny has not had the success on paper, but my argument, I've said this on your show, my argument is that first 5 years, 6 years that he was in Memphis, I thought that the job that he did coaching that team was really, really good.
Yeah.
Right. And it maybe didn't live up to the expectations that people had when he got hired, because the first inclination is, all right, you're getting Penny. First commit you sign is James Wiseman. Okay, this is going to be John Calipari all over again, right? And I don't think it was ever going to be that. And I would argue he did a really good job coaching those early teams. Last season was, we're not going to talk about that.
That was a.
But I would argue
challenger
again,
explosion.
I would argue again this year.
Keep it old school.
Yeah.
I would argue this year he outperformed expectations in the preseason and set himself up for a situation where anything short of winning at least a game, if not two in the tournament, would be looked at as a big picture disappointment based on where we were in early December. And it's tough for me to kind of put all of that stuff into context.
Yeah.
So where do you stand right now on?
And you see it there. Look at the difference. First half versus second half. Combined points off turnover, second chance, bench, and fast break. 4 of those such points for Colorado State in the first half. 30 of those such points in the second half. Just a completely different game in the second half. But yeah, the Penny Hardaway era has been it's been a mixed bag, to say the least. I think when Memphis made the hire, there was an expectation that they were going to have to be patient. He had never coached the college level before.
Mm-hmm.
They needed somebody who could absolutely come in and rejuvenate the fan base, get people back in the building, and get people interested again. And he did that. He got talent. He got people back in the building. He fixed attendance. And so then, okay, that sugar high wears off. Now it's time to actually win. It's been, again, inconsistent there, because he puts himself, or at least in years past, before the last 2 years, what was happening was he was putting himself in big holes. He was climbing out of them miraculously.
Yep.
I think about that amount of year they had to do that, right? They had to win. They had to beat like Houston twice or something to get in. And then they win a game, and then they are leading Gonzaga at the half. This year was different in that he took care of business early. And unfortunately, at the end, run into one of the hottest teams in America without your point guard, that's a bad break. But look, what did Penny do this year? He won the regular season in the American for the first time. He won the conference tournament again. He established Memphis as the preeminent team in that league, back to being dominant. So only lost 2 games in the league all year long. So I think there's a lot to build on. The question for them, Rob, just becomes how much of that roster they can keep, and is he going to have to flip it for a 3rd straight year or 4th straight year, whatever it is now? That's going to be the hard thing to do.
Yeah.
But I think Memphis fans, after they get over their initial disappointment of losing today, right? And they are, and they're disappointed, and I get it, and they should be. After they get over that, I think most will say it was a good year. Penny showed a ton of growth, and there's a lot of reasons to be excited about him at the helm of Memphis basketball. But today is not that day. Today is a day